I said, hey, I'm going to have an episode with my wife.
Oh, bro, there's no way you're...
These are some questions you want to know. So I'm just going to I'm going to read these so I don't miss them. Like, you're starting to understand God, and then the devil puts the contract that everybody's like waiting for your whole life. That to me was like, could you unpack that feeling?
I told Andrew, I said, I'm not signing that contract, because if I sign the contract before I get there, then I'm agreeing to the terms.
I hate to do this, but I have to ask the deep questions. And I hate to do it, but I have to.
I'm just playing, I don't fight, I do pray. I only go the way of Mr. Yahweh. Try to correct me, but I'm stuck in my own ways.
Why wouldn't you take advantage of that?
Like, no way. I don't believe I have hatred. I just believe there is hatred.
What's up, guys? My name is George Janko. I felt like I just introed like an old school like vlog. Hey guys, what's up? Sorry, I'm so glad I don't do that anymore because I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, nothing is more depressing than that. Guys, this podcast is loved by many, but the reason why it's loved by many is because I have this thing where I get on the podcast and I apologize for stupid things, and people are like, "Wow, he's real." He's real stupid sometimes, but at least he's real. And one of the things that I did that was stupid is I said, hey, I'm going to have an episode with my wife.
Oh, bro, there's no way you're...
And then while I had that episode with my wife, I had the posture of, hey, wife, shut up. Don't speak at all, actually.
No, you didn't.
Let me talk.
No,
You're talking right now. I'm going to need you to stop. No, stop it. Thank you. And so, like, I'd like to do better by making sure my wife speaks. Here's the thing, guys. I didn't mean to. And the reason I didn't mean to is because, one, I get excited. Since I was a kid, it's been a thing, dude. They're like, hey, George, we love you, but shut up. And I've taken it to the next level where I own a podcast and I still talk too much. That's astonishing. That's working real hard, right? Okay, but... Belle, I'm sorry.
Please stop.
Listen, I told you this a long time ago. The comments that hurt you are the ones that are true. Those comments hurt me. When I watched it back, it's so cringe to watch it back and then be like, oh, they're right. Belle,
But the thing is that genuinely, I never felt that. Like, I know the episode was supposed to be like about me or whatever, but it's like we're having a conversation. So I would feel weird if like you didn't like input your own thoughts or feelings or stories. Like that's what I want from you. That's what I want from a conversation. You know what I mean? So I'm flattered that you guys want to hear like, you know what I mean? Like deets and stuff.
Dog, they came with questions. They literally in the comments were like, dude, this is great, but maybe next time have somebody else interview. Dude. Listen, I've gone through being canceled a lot, right? And it didn't hurt me when the Bobby Lee thing happened. It didn't hurt me when the impulsive thing happened. It only hurts when you read it and you're like, they're right. And dude, they were right, Belle. Here's the thing. You fell in love with a man who's very aggressive, who takes the front, storms it. You know what I mean? And then I just overtalk. So I read their comments. I read their concerns. And today I want to tap back in, apologize to you publicly.
Stop, bro.
I want to. You know what's so funny is that we had this whole thing planned today to talk about some cool things, but we got to run this back. There's no way we can't run this back.
Listen,
and I knew if I told you we were going to run it back, you'd be like, no, please. I'm a little meek woman.
No.
I don't want to talk about myself.
How about this?
Okay.
We just sprinkle questions for each other. We still talk about the things we want to talk about today, but we can sprinkle in questions. And by the way, I just want to say, I so appreciate everything that you guys had to say. You're so loving and amazing and wonderful, and I really do appreciate it. But I also don't agree with the ones that said that George talked too much. I don't know. I thought it was a good podcast and a good back and forth. So we're not making this all about me, bro.
I think we should, bro. And this is the reason why I didn't want to tell you in the beginning is because you're very, very meek. You're very meek. And by the way, my favorite comments, and there was a lot of them, a lot of them that were like, this is a masterclass on being patient and meek and a godly woman. And they're right, Val. They're right. I'm glad that happened because that is our life, bro. That is our life where I learn a lot more from you being quiet and me watching you work than me actually listening to you talk. And I'm sorry. And the reason why it frustrated me is because in reality, I listen to you a lot. Like behind cameras, when you speak, I grab all that gold and I run with it. So basically what I did is I robbed them from their opportunity to learn from your perspective to hoard it for myself. And then I had the audacity to be like the Shawna interview. And then one of the comments were like, can't wait till a real Shawna interview goes out. So, okay,
Whatever.
I read some comments and they want to go all the way back. They want to know why you started modeling, how it worked with you. No, listen, this is cool.
George.
And then, does this not make you feel comfortable? If you're uncomfortable, we don't have to do this. But I think there's a lot of
this
people.
to be a good episode. I want
Well, it
this
is
to
going to be a good episode. This is literally highly requested. People from around the world are requesting this.
I feel like I've already talked about myself. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a burning question, fire it off. You know what I'm saying? But only if it's interesting.
I did a poor job hosting last time. So I'm literally, there's a guy named Carrie W5301. And he says, George, I love you so much. And you mean the world to me. This is great. What about blah, 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 some nice things. And he goes, but dog, these are some questions you want to know. So I'm just going to literally,
my God.
I'm going to read these so I don't miss them. At what age did she move throughout her childhood?
Okay. Well, what was his handle? WE40. This
WE40. No, that's
what was the
that's
handle?
for a door, dude. That's a great question, though. Like,
It is a nice question. I appreciate it. Listen, I moved a lot. When I lived in France, we moved around a lot. We lived in a few different cities. And then the last place that I lived in, I was 10. So I left France when I was 10 years old. And then I was in Cincinnati, Ohio for 2 months. And then I moved to Canada. And in Canada, I lived in Peterborough and in Ottawa. And then I left Ottawa in 2014 and I arrived to California.
yeah.
And then I was in California. Now, I've been in America.
The next question that they
make
had was like, how did that feel? Like, what was it like adapting to these type of things? Like, you went from being a French girl to living in the States in Ohio, and then you went to Canada. What did that do to you as a human being? Was that cool? Were you like annoyed of it? Like, how did you adapt to these things?
I don't know. I think I kind of just adapt. And, there were really big changes. And I think that, thank God, I'm somebody who I think I can like quickly adapt to my environment. But I know for sure, like leaving France and then getting to Canada, going to a new school. And I kind of had to balance, because at the time, French was my one and only language. I spoke English with my mom, but I wasn't taking, geography in, did I say wrong?
Hey, dude, don't worry. I was born here and I still fail at this in English.
Geo, like in English, right? So it was just adapting to the language and to the people. But thank God I went to a French immersion school, because obviously Quebec and Canada, they speak French and stuff. So I was able to do half my classes in French and half my classes in English. So it kind of like eased me in, And then I was super fobbed, so I had a really strong accent, and I wanted to sound like my peers. So
Did you do an example of what you sound like?
No,
Come on, you're an actress. You could do it.
I don't want to.
But you could do it?
Yeah, I can do a French accent. You heard my dad, okay? I sounded like that, but like as a kid. So,
I try to do the imitation, but I don't think I'm good enough at it. Come on, do it, bro. People want to hear it.
No, because what if it's bad? I'm not
It
embarrassed.
would be cute. Go ahead.
Stop. No, I don't want to.
Pretend like you're in class right now with that accent and be like, excuse me, I forgot my notebook. Can I borrow a notebook and a piece of pencil, please? But God, just got.
It's not going to be good. No, I don't want to. I
She
can't.
started out with, That's like when an Indian guy starts with his head shaking. Come on, go. You got this.
George, I don't want to.
Listen, don't turn on me, right? The audience are already on thin ice, dude. Don't turn on me.
I'm already so embarrassed. I wasn't prepped for this. I feel like this is so uninteresting.
Well, no. You're not supposed to be prepped for it. It's like it's a real interview. I'm just like talking to you about it. This is raw, bro.
Yeah, this is raw. Well, let me tell you something.
Okay.
So, funny enough.
Wait, so you're not doing the accent?
I'm not doing the accent. But funny.
I'm just letting you know you're letting a lot of people down, but okay, go ahead.
But because it was a French school in Canada and they had the Quebec accent, they thought that my Parisian accent was so hilarious, and I'd say certain words like Parisian French is like almost like the British English versus maybe like a different type of like English. And so there's certain words that are really like donc, like very proper or whatever. And I remember the teacher used to make so much fun of me because
What do you say? Donk?
like, I know it doesn't make sense. Like there's just a certain word, and she would always make fun of me because I was so formal with my wordage, And so yeah, the class would just make fun of my formalities. But anyways, so so yep, I adapted and I rolled with the punches, and I made friends, and it was good. And I never. That's the one thing I'm really grateful for, is that in every new city, in every new school I've been to, I've always been able to make good friends. So I think that's a really big blessing, and I know that's hard for a lot of kids. And so I think that that really helped. I don't know. I just made friends. I just like talked to people and like made friends, and I usually was friends with everybody, at school. Like
Must be nice.
I
Just being beautiful. Just coming into school. Hi. Everybody around them did. I'll be like, hello. They'll be like, get this terrorist ass out of this classroom right
Listen,
now.
I had to have something going for me. You know what I mean? Like, you know how many schools I've been to? Imagine if I couldn't make friends.
So let's talk about that. How many schools did you go to?
Well, let's see. So there's probably, like, in France, I went to 2 or 3 different schools. There's elementary, and then there was another one I went to for a little bit that was there, and then I ended up going to like more of a private one, Saint Bruno. So that was 3 in France, and then in Canada there was 1 in Peterborough. So wait, 3, 1 in Peterborough, and then there was Ottawa. There was my middle school in Ottawa, and then there was Canterbury, and then I moved to California. So then there was my high school. So 7 schools.
7 schools?
7 schools.
Oh, bro.
And every curriculum is different. 3 different countries, so 3 different ways of the way that they do math, of the way that they do history, bro. Bye. The way that they do, like, you know what I mean?
What school did you like the most?
Ooh, probably Canterbury in Canada. It was a performing arts school, so I auditioned. So there's different programs: the dance program, the drama program, the singing program, all that stuff. And you audition, and only a certain amount of kids get in. It's pretty hard to get in.
Is this the school that you were talking about when we were watching Victorious, and you're like, I went to a school like this?
Yes. My school was like Victorious. I swear. Kids, the dancers would be break dancers in the hallways, break dancing during break. All the murals had, because the seniors for their senior project, they got to paint a really big mural on the walls of the school. So the school's filled with like murals everywhere. We had amazing performances.
Okay, so there were people that were wondering about your modeling career.
Yeah.
Let's talk about where it started.
Okay. How did it start? It's a good question, honestly.
And is that what you went to the art school for, modeling?
No, for acting, for drama. I was in the drama program.
Okay, we'll tap into acting in a second, but let's start with modeling, because you started with modeling.
Yeah, I started with modeling.
You were young.
Yeah, 5.
5.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I'm trying so hard to pretend like I've never heard it.
I know.
I know every interview.
I know. That's why it was hard it's hard for you to ask me questions when
But
you
you
know
like the
everything.
like 5?
Yes.
I'm like Barbara Walters.
young.
Barbara
Walter? Walters? Is it Walters or Walter?
Let's make this about you. Stop it. You're trying to get me to talk. I see what you're doing here. I will not have it, though. Okay. Modeling. Did your mom put you in it, or was it something you were already interested in?
No,
Well, you're 5. How's that possible?
No, I wanted to do it because so my sister and I were both like figure skating, and I don't know, I think it just came from when my mom would take like photos of us or whatever. I was really like I was really young, but it's like I knew what to do with my face. Like I knew how to like smile, and I knew how to like smize and do all that stuff, right? And so then I don't know who suggested it. Honestly, I don't know how it came about, but it's something that I loved so much. And I think I just really liked I just liked performing in front of people. Like I was the type of kid that like in rooms with adults, I was always entertaining them and talking to them, telling them stories, and like adults just thought it was a hoot.
People should know about how like you were raised. You weren't like really growing up with kids. You grew up with adults, so you had to like grow up quick. Like the fact that she was cooking meals for herself. What age were you when you were in the kitchen already cooking meals?
I feel like everything happened at 5, but probably
It's just that's your like age.
everything started at 5 years old. No, I don't know. Yeah, I think I was like 5 or 6. And well, because my dad cooks, and so he, and I remember he used to grate the potatoes. I take the potato skin and I'd make concoctions in the kitchen, and like, or one time when I was 5 or 6, I wanted to make caramel from scratch. My mom was gone. I think it was just me and my sister or something. And I'm obviously not allowed to use a stove at 5 or 6 by myself, but I really wanted to make caramel from scratch. So I used the stove in secret to melt my butter and the sugar or whatever the recipe called for. And it came home and I was like, Mom, I make caramel. And she's like, how'd you do that? And I was like, I used the sun. I put the bowl in the window and I melted it in the.
And your mom believed you?
I want to say she believed me, but she probably just didn't care to. She probably, like, not didn't care, but she probably like, all right, whatever. She had to know I didn't use the sun. I don't know how I got away with that, but
So when did the modeling start?
So yeah, around that, I don't know. So around that time, so my mom took me and my sister to an agency in Paris. It was called Frimousse, and we got like represented, and then we got like photos done and everything, and then I started booking jobs, and I worked for like I did like it's like fashion design. It's like high fashion for kids. So it's like Kenzo and Dior and Dino Lucia and Milk Magazine and all those, but for kids. So it's all like high fashion.
A lot of kids stars or people that work with kids, they always come out with like traumatizing stories and stuff. Like, what did you see any funny business or like what was like that like?
No, it was not like that at all. I had the most fun ever. Like, for example, at the time they didn't really like follow the child labor laws, regulations. Normally you can only really like be on set for a certain amount of hours, but we would work from like sun up till sundown, like all day. But I loved it. I had so much fun. And like, I remember this one time we were doing a thing for, I think it was for Milk Magazine, and they got this house like out in the countryside, and it was kind of like looked haunted, and it was just, and there was this little boy that I used to always play with. Sometimes he'd model with me, and we would just like, we'd be in like Dior and all these crazy like clothes and everything, and then in between shots we'd be like playing soccer with our bare feet like in a garage or whatever, and then they like wipe our feet and we'd get back to work
While wearing all that stuff?
no, I probably changed in between shots, or I don't know, but yeah, it was so much fun. I've done one where it was they put a trampoline on the top of a parking garage, and it overlooked the city, overlooked Paris, and you could see a Sacré-Cœur, and it was like jumping shots of me like in the sky.
What, did you just have a stroke? What did you just say?
Sacré-Cœur.
What is that?
It's a monument, or it's a place in Paris. It's like
Could you try to say that in an American accent?
in an American accent?
Yeah.
Well, I guess the translation is Sacred Heart. Is it Sacré-Cœur? I don't know.
Dude, everything she says in French is so like what are some words that we say that you can't say in English? You have to
Look.
say it in.
It's this.
Oh, nice.
It's like a big it's just like a big monument, and so you could like overlook, see Paris and stuff, but yeah, modeling when I was younger was something I was totally loved. And I did a commercial for Garnier, and yeah, we just went back and forth. We drive to Paris whenever I get a job, and I would do that and have a wonderful time.
So you're in France.
Mm-hmm.
You're modeling.
Mm-hmm.
You're growing up. You're watching Disney, I'm assuming?
Oh yeah, Disney Channel.
What shows were you watching on Disney at the time?
Like
Proud
Lizzie
Family?
McGuire, That's So Raven.
See, that's weird to me because Lizzie McGuire was before my time.
How was it
and
before your time?
That's what I'm trying to understand. It wasn't on TV when I was growing up.
It wasn't?
No, so when you're growing up, you're 6 years younger than me.
Yeah.
So we're French like 10 years behind?
Maybe. Like, there's a lot of American shows that my mom's friend would tape and she would send us so that we'd be able to watch. But I was watching Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place.
I know back in the day before the internet, like things would hit overseas. I might be wrong. I want people to, it would hit overseas. I remember one time I went with Josh Peck to Mexico, and he was like a superstar over there. Like he was Justin Bieber over there.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, hey, yo. And he goes, yeah, they just got Drake and Josh. I was like, yo.
Yeah. No, that is
It's like,
true.
it's wild.
Everything takes so much longer to get over there. The trends, the things, the new gadgets, the everything. It's much delayed over there. So maybe that's why.
Okay, my timer up. I have a timer on how much I could speak. I can't speak above it. I'm just joking. Okay, so you did modeling.
Yeah.
When were you introduced to acting? I don't even know that one. When were you introduced to acting?
It's just something that I realized. I was like, oh, there's something that I could do. Like when I watched like Disney Channel and stuff like that, I was like, oh, I want to do that. I want to perform more. Because the aspect of modeling that I loved was performing, was like being able to be in front of a camera. You give me direction and I can do it. You know, you want me to look a certain way, be a certain thing, whatever. Like that was fun to me. And so then when I realized, well, I could do this with acting, I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. But I don't know, acting in France at the time, it's not the same. It's not as available. It wasn't really something you could go like, I don't know. So that's why I did like a commercial, you know? But then, you know, obviously a lot of things happened in my family and I left when I was 10. And so those things kind of got put to the side for a little bit. And then once we moved to Canada and we kind of got settled and we got back on our feet and everything, then I was like, okay, mom, like, how can I get back into this? Like, you know? And I don't want to talk smack, you know, but
Who are you talking smack to, bro?
the agencies in Canada are just not great when it comes to like acting or modeling representation. There's a lot of BS, a lot of lies, a lot of agencies sell you on things that are not. And we'd been around the block. Like, so they thought they could tell us things that you got bamboozled when you were younger.
It's not about me, Belle. Stop. Look what she does. She wants me to talk. This is unacceptable, bro. Stop pointing it back at me, dude. You know I love talking. If you give me the mic, I'm running with it. Enough. It's about you.
Well, I'll use this example.
When were you bamboozled?
George got bamboozled.
We'll talk to me on my episode. What did you get bamboozled for?
You know, we just went to one of those like it's called is it a cow call? A cow call or a cat call? Not cat calling. A cow call. There's a certain word for when the agencies do a thing where it's like tons of kids come and they like, you know, they look at you, they look at everybody and then they choose for it's like a big call and then they choose who they want for the agency or whatever.
Do you have to pay?
No, you should never have to pay. That's when you get bamboozled. You don't pay to go to an agency.
You said you got bamboozled.
Well, I didn't say I get bamboozled. I said there's a lot of agencies that will bamboozle you and you got bamboozled.
How old were you when this was happening?
I don't know, like when we went 12, maybe 13.
She's in the room. She goes, oh, excuse me. You think I don't know what you're doing here?
No, you know, the agencies that promise you all these things, blah, blah, blah. But then, yeah, it's a money thing or whatever. Because we ended up going with them because it just wasn't, you know, it wasn't a good one. Anyways, so, yeah. And so then that's when I focused more on theater. So then I developed my acting skills and my theater skills. And you know what I mean? Like, did that. And
was this in the class in that school that you were talking about? That's like a performing arts school?
Yeah. So then when I was able to start going to performing arts school, then I was able to like really work on my acting craft.
So let's unpack that situation. First of all, how did you get in? Did you have to audition?
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
How did you find the school?
Through like friends. Like they told me about like, oh, there's Canterbury, this performing arts school, but it's a 45-minute drive from where I live because it's in the downtown area. Closer to the downtown area, yeah. So you have to be like really committed. And when I heard about this school, I was like, Mom, please, like, do you think you'd let me audition to go to high school there? Because I was like getting out of, I went to 8 schools because I went for 7 and 8th grade. I went to St. Peter's, Catholic school. So, and then St. Peter's, there's 7th and 8th grade, and then you can go, there's a different wing of the school for high school. I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to go to the performing arts. And then like hundreds of kids audition and only like a certain amount, like for each like year, like get in or whatever. And so yeah, you get like, you choose sides that they give you. You sign up with the school, you give sides. There's a certain audition day. You go, you audition, you make a cut, and then you go back a second time. And then you get the news whether you make it in or not.
Where were you when you found the news?
I don't know. I don't remember these things. And you know what? It pains me. Like, George remembers these details where he'll be like, I was like, put on my shoes, turning up my laces and picking my nose. And I heard the news of this. I don't remember stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I think it was either a phone call or an email, you know?
Oh, you were young.
Yeah.
What was it like going to that school?
Well, I don't know. It was cool. It was such a fun experience. My mom would either drive me because my mom worked for the Parliament in Canada. And so the Parliament Hill, which is kind of like the White House of Canada, is in the downtown. So sometimes in the morning she'd drive me on the way and we listen to iHeartRadio on the way to school when I get dropped off, and then usually I bus back. Like there's like the public buses in Canada, they're very safe. Everybody takes the bus, and it's like a whole. You take a one bus, you get connected to the other. You know, it's a whole like trail or whatever. And yeah, it was just cool because you got to do your craft. So like you did all your classes or whatever, but then you looked forward to every single day. Like, okay, cool. Like I have my craft I get to work on, and like the relationships that you make with people are so deep because you're doing something that you love. Like imagine like doing the thing that you love to do with your peers. You know, you build such strong like relationships. I feel like with the people around you, and that school was just such a fun environment.
So you go from Ohio to Canada. You go to this school, you learn how to develop your art.
Yep.
Like your form of it. Do you go to LA or like Huntington from there?
Yeah. And then we moved to Huntington.
All right, bro. You just moved everywhere. I'm assuming you're 16 when you moved there, right?
Yeah.
15 or 16?
My birthday was the next day. I turned 16 when I arrived.
Okay. So you go from being a French girl in a small town, and then you go to Ohio, like
For 2 months.
for 2 months. Nothing too serious.
Well, when
right?
I did a bridal show, somehow I modeled while I was in Ohio for those 2 months, and I did a bridal show.
What's a bridal show?
It was like a runway show for brides, and I was like a flower girl, and I did a runway show for the bridal company.
Her flower girl's like really young. Oh, you were really young at this time.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Anyways, whatever. Random detail. Go on. Go on.
All right, so you develop your art.
Yeah.
You're 16 as a girl, like from everything you've done, from cooking for yourself such an early age, having a job, transferring. So you're kind of you're 16, but you're a little bit more mature.
Oh yeah, I've had to say goodbye to so many people. I had a core group of friends in Canada. My best friend, Sophie, which we haven't talked in a while. I miss her, but I don't know what crying. But
Are you crying because you're a terrible friend?
maybe.
Dude, what a shitty human being, bro. Leaving your friend in Canada, dude. Why are you getting emotional? What is it? Do you miss her?
Maybe.
Sophie, I just want to let you know she talks about you all the time. I know that you guys love the Jonas Brothers together. I know that you guys watch Twilight together.
No, Vampire Diaries.
Oh, sorry, Vampire Diaries. Forgive me. Forgive me, Sophie. I didn't mean to cross the line. I know that you love Justin Bieber.
She was obsessed with Justin Bieber. She made me watch the Justin Bieber movie so many times, and I couldn't care less.
You ruined it for me, Sophie, because I can't get her to watch it with me anymore. So what was that relationship with Sophie? Was she your first best friend?
I don't know why I'm crying. Yeah. I met Sophie in the 6th grade. She was my first friend in Canada.
What was it about it that, like, I mean, this is an honest question. I'm not even trying to joke around anymore. Like, Sophie to you has been a heavy hitter, like, when it comes to your heart. I would put her up there with Michelle. Like, she's somebody that, like, every time you talk about her and you think about her, you get so emotional. The love that you have for her, I don't think that many people get to, like, find that in a friend.
Yeah.
So why is that relationship so special to you? Like, was it that you felt at home with somebody, or you felt connected?
Yeah, probably.
Well, you're moving around a lot, and then you find one really good friend. How long were you guys together for?
Oh, all the way up until even when I moved here, like she came to visit me. We stayed in touch. So it's only been the last few years where I think, life gets so busy, and I think it's hard to sometimes keep up with long distance, But yeah, like in the 6th grade, like Sophie's the opposite of me. Sophie was very like tomboy, like wore basketball shorts to school every day and a baggy t-shirt. And I'm in like pink bows. Like we were just so opposite. And I loved her. We had the most fun, like together. We just had the most fun. We'd sleepovers every single weekend. Like every single weekend we'd have sleepovers together. We did everything together. We had our same routine. We'd walk to the Giant Tiger and get ice cream and snacks and go to Tim Hortons. Like I knew everything about her, like,
Did you guys ever get in a fight? Was there something that you guys were like, he's mine, he's not yours, he's mine? Like,
oh, hell no. Yeah. Even took like we were just like indifferent, even took she wasn't interested in that for a while. She was like, oh, and then she had her first crush, like We just went through so much. I think those years from like sixth grade up until 10th grade are such pivotal years. I feel like you grow and you change so much, you know? And so having like that deep relationship with a friend is like so wonderful. And yeah, and then when I went to Canterbury, you know, and then I also made like a big core group of friends. Like we were such a fun group. Like we did so much stuff together, you know?
Yeah.
And so then leaving them too was so hard. It was just so hard. That was the one thing. Like I was excited to move to California, but I didn't want to leave my friends. Because man, it's hard. Like you make all these memories with these people and it's really hard saying goodbye.
Well, I mean, dude, going from splitting your family up to trying to figure out your identity, learning your talents, going to a school, and then as soon as you found your roots and the people that you love and the sleepovers and that, I don't know, I feel like the sense of safety and community.
Yeah.
And then they're like, hey, you got to move again. Like, so you're excited to move because it's California and it's Huntington Beach. By the way, if any of you guys have ever been to Huntington Beach, it is, honestly, I feel like one of the most beautiful places in the world. Like when I came there, she introduced me to it and I cried because like I literally cried because people were doing the two things that I always wanted to do, be eating pizza by the beach and reading the Bible. And that's, everybody was doing that. And I was just like, wow, this place is amazing. And we were right next to Main Street.
Yeah.
There's this place called Zero Pizzeria you introduced me to.
Yeah.
Okay, so you move out there. What's that like?
Oof.
Like unpack, like you're literally, you just got to Huntington. What's going on?
Yeah. So we visited the summer prior. So we moved to California because my mom got remarried. And so the summer before that, right, we visited for summer break. So we got to see like what it was like and all that stuff. So kind of got a taste of it, you know? And then hard cut, this is a year later. So now we're back. And I mean, there's just so much going on. Like my mom was getting married, you know, meeting all of the dad. He's not my stepdad anymore. They're not together anymore, but I'm meeting all of his family, which they were so wonderful and welcoming. And gosh, I really, really loved them.
I'm glad I got to meet them before. Like,
Yeah.
I came right at the ending tail of
Us.
hanging out.
Yeah.
Jan and everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gosh, I
great
love
people.
Jan. Yeah.
Great people.
Such wonderful people. They made us feel so loved and they were so great. So it's nice because we came to California, but then we jumped into someone else's family. So for like Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff like that, it felt it felt special. It wasn't kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I hate to do this, but I have to ask the deep questions. I'm sorry. And I hate to do it, but I have to.
okay.
What's it like feeling like you have family in the holidays again? And then now it's just you, your sister, and your mom again. Does it feel a little unfair?
I don't know. I don't know. I think I don't get. I think like when those things happen, like I don't get like I think I don't get stuck. You know what I'm saying? Like I just move forward. And I don't know. I don't think I've ever really like paused to think too much about it. You know? Because when we live in Canada, it was just the three of us for holidays and stuff, and my mom always made it the best she possibly could. You know? She always made it really special. And like even when we lived in Peterborough and my mom was like, we just, you know, had moved out of living with my mom's friend and we just got back on our feet. Even though my mom it was hard like to make ends meet, you know, she still like made it really special and did whatever she could to like make it so much fun and you know what I mean? So, and the three of us were so close. So we always had the best time together, which was good. And then, yeah, I mean, obviously having, you know, that family like dynamic in with Mike's family and was such a blessing and it was so much fun. And when they separated, there was a time where they separated, but we were still hanging out with his family because we'd grown close to them and they wanted us around. And so that was nice. So it was like easy transition. But then I think after some time we started to feel guilty because like if we were hanging out with them, then Mike wasn't really coming around. That's his family, So I think that separation started to kind of slowly happen. I think we got iced out, They were like, all right. You know what I mean?
So like, what would you tell a little girl that feels what you felt? And then what would you tell her?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I guess knowing what I know now, I would say something very different than what I would have said then, I think even though I didn't have a relationship with God, I think that God really protected me and he gave me like a really like strong mindset, where I could just like keep moving forward and make the best out of any situation. But I think that knowing what I know now, I think that if I were to say something to a little girl, I don't know, I would tell her that it doesn't matter what people on this earth does because your heavenly Father loves you so much and he's going to protect you and he's going to guide you through the way. And so even if things are hard now, it's not going to be like that forever. And that in every season of your life, in every situation of your life, no matter what's going on, you can always look at the good. You can always look at the good.
You had a posture of a grateful heart.
Yeah. Yeah. You can always look. I know that things sometimes crumble around you and things can be really hard and or feelings can get. And listen, I'm not saying I dealt with things, like a champ. I definitely went through some really hard times and there's some things probably that I'll never say. Like, And, I think we can all be really hard on ourselves but you just can't blame yourself and you can't internalize everything, I think I was for a time period I didn't know how to handle deal with maybe what I was feeling or whatever, so I took it out on myself and it was really hard on myself. But then I think I snapped. I just was able to like snap out of it and kind of get my shit together and like realize that like I can't do that. I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I wish I could give good advice, to tell you, oh, this is the mindset you need to have. I have no idea. I truly think looking back, God just protected me and gave me a strong heart to be able to realize, hey, you're going a little too far with this, like, hey, you're being a little destructive. This is going to haunt you later. Like, take it back, fix it, Maybe that's because my mom's very much like that. My mom's very much, she always told us, like, you're either a victim or you're a victor. And you have to choose your path. So you have to strive forward, And maybe that it's the athlete mentality, like I grew up, with figure skating and training and the competitive mindset, and it's very like fall and get back up. So I think maybe, being an athlete was also I had a lot of outlets. Maybe that's it. I had a lot of outlets. I had acting and I had figure skating and I had dancing. So I think, yeah, maybe that's what I would say. Find an outlet, find something that you love because you can put your passion there, The amount of times that once I found dancing and then I found contemporary dance, I loved contemporary dancing. I think that was I was able to feel my emotions through dancing. I was able to kind of like have that time, if that makes sense.
What did you do? Because like, I know people that have had an easier life than you, but they get cold and bitter. What do you think helped you still open up and like, bro, when I met you, like I had no idea about the situations and the walks that you went through. You've never had a victim mindset. You've always been positive and graceful and meek, and Um, it's hard for me to say this, but like it's true. But what life and what God had you walk through, I couldn't be more blessed to have a partner like you. And I tell you this all the time. And I'm a very real person. It's hard to say this, but I looked at you and I said I wouldn't time travel and change a single thing about your past, because the woman that you are today is something that I beg God that my daughter turns out to be like. Like when I met you, you were the first person in my life where I was like, oh, I want my children to be more like her and not me. And do you think somebody has to struggle to come out to be so, bro? Like you're in, like I could sit here and talk all day of how blown away I am by you as an individual. Like my dad used to teach me, surround yourself with people that are better than you and that you look up to and that you grow from and you absorb from. And I couldn't choose anybody better to hang around with than you. Because, bro, like, me and you will go into things and I'll laugh and I'll turn to Belle and I'll be like, "Oh, bro, I already know how you're going to deal with this." And, like, it's motivating, but you make me get back on the horse because I'm watching you pet your horse and give it a carrot. And I'm like, what the fuck? How did she just deal with all that with such humility and grace? And so I met you, and then I started to watch you develop your relationship with God. And I joke around all the time and I say, when I met Belle, I told people I was a Christian, but her actions were like Christ. So it's like I was a hypocrite sitting around telling everybody like, yeah, Jesus. And then you didn't even know who Jesus was, but you behaved more like Christ than I did. What was it like? And this is a tough question, and I already know you as a human being, so I already knew this was going to grab you. What was it like moving around life, not having your father protect you, and then meeting Jesus and knowing that day will never happen again?
What is wrong with you?
Well, I just watched you develop into an incredible woman, and I have to give all of the glory to God. Like watching you figure out Jesus is there and never was not there made me a better Christian Bell. Like it made me get on my knees and beg for a relationship with God. So how could I not ask you if I'm doing a sincere interview? Like there's a girl who's walking around right now that her father abandoned her, that traveled the world, that met friends and had to say goodbye, and unfortunately doesn't have that breath of fresh air knowing that Jesus is right next to her. And those footprints in the sand when times get rough are not hers, but his.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's the reason why I really, really, really cherish my faith. I cherish my faith. I see my faith as a gift. I think that, you know, a lot of people grow up with a relationship with God, right? Or they know of God, and so maybe it seems normal, and it seems like that's just the way. But going from, I think, not having a relationship with God and thinking that I don't even know what to think. I think I was just an atheist. I was just like, well, it's just science. Like it didn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, and so that was it. And so I think I always relied on my own self for everything, relied for myself to figure things out and to have a certain mindset and to do whatever. And I think that my whole life, I really, really, really longed for that love, that strong relationship with a father. You know what I mean? I think, I love my mom to death, but you always think like, man, I wonder what it would be like to have that father-daughter close, like loving relationship. Because it's a different, right? Different one. It shapes you differently. And so there's a part of you that always longs for it. And as an adult in my early 20s, it's still something that, you know, you long for. And I think that you kind of feel like that emptiness for. And then once I encountered Jesus and once I started having a true relationship with him, it's like he tripled that hole. Like he overflowed me with love and with so much peace and understanding. So much peace and understanding that I was able to actually resolve my pain and resolve my past pain and resolve my relationship with my dad. And now the place that, now the place that my father and I are in is such a beautiful one, is one that I didn't think that we would have right now, you know. Never thought I'd have this kind of beautiful relationship with my dad. And it astonishes me truly. I think that God is real, God is present, and he loves you so much that when you accept him in your life, he fills every part of you. You know, he fills every part of you and he mends your heart. And I've never felt this sense of peace and security and protection in my life before than now, like having a relationship with God. And I don't know, yeah. I really see like my faith, like my belief in God, like it's a gift. It is a gift from God because I did not have it. You know, like it's crazy. I did not have it. I did not believe. I did not have the inner feeling, understanding, like that feeling I tell you, like it's so hard to explain. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't make sense. I'm like, I will never be able to believe because I don't feel it inside. So it's not real. Like I just don't feel it. So that when that day like happened, when like I pursued the Lord for a few years, and I pursued him hard for like the year before he like it finally clicked for me. Like I pursued him hard, man. Because I really wanted to like know if it was real, if it was not real, if this is it. And I wanted to be in communion with him. And so then when he like unlocked that in me, it just feels like it's a supernatural gift.
I love that you use the word gift. And I never told you this, but when we were just starting, I never told you, hey, if you want to be with me, you have to be with Jesus and da-da-da-da.
Yeah, I never.
And I remember you were like chasing him, but sometimes it hurts because like God molds us. And I think the scripture is true when he's like, you only have a relationship because he loved you first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you would come to me, you'd ask me questions, but there were sometimes I didn't have answers to them. But I remember one time I was praying and the Lord told me to tell you. Again, I always preface this. It's never an audible thing. Like when people are like, man, Jesus told you that. It's like, it's more like you just keep hearing the same type of thing in your head and you're like, all right, dude, like he's really pushing me on this. And I remember he told me to tell you that I will heal your family. And I was like, all right, man, like that's a pretty substantial thing to promise somebody, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I came in hot to deliver that message. And I told you, I said, I don't know what your relationship with your father is. I do not know, but I know that my God will heal everything because he is the God of life. The reason I say that is because you just had your first Christmas with him.
Yeah.
And I told you that 6 years ago.
Yeah.
What did you feel when I told you that? Like you're sincere, like was it like frustrating, like dude shut up, or was it like, oh, I'm excited about it? Okay, so the beginning, when you first hear the good news that I tell you the Lord's on his way, he's going to heal the whole family, and then you have 6 years of walking with him, and then we have this unbelievable Christmas with both of our families together, and we're already also hyped for the next one. Like,
Yeah.
what is that?
It's crazy, dude. I know for a fact, like 6 years ago, I'm very like, okay. Okay, we'll see. You know what I mean? Like,
I was
it is.
so terrified to tell you this because I know it meant so much that I'm like, bro, if God forbid this Like
Yeah.
you really got to believe this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, 'cause
Yeah.
if it doesn't, that's something that could break somebody's back into being like, oh, I thought you were going to heal here. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you have to have like really, really big faith to look at something like that and say, oh, this is going to happen. And so I think you took it very well. Sorry to interrupt you, but I just wanted to say that because there might be somebody out there that the Lord's telling them to go tell a loved one that blessings are on their way, this will be healed, but they're frozen because they don't even believe it more than,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
But
yeah,
I think you're probably a big, well, I know you're a big part of that. Your faith, like you had faith that it would come through, because even when you told me that, if this was 6 years ago, right, I'm still developing my relationship with God. So my faith is not where it's at. So you tell me that and I'm like, I mean, probably not, but like, that's nice. Like, like they'd be great, but probably not. So my faith wasn't even there to believe it at that time. You know what I mean? It wasn't until like what, 3 years ago. Would you say, yeah, 3.5 years ago that I'm like, no, yes, okay.
but what did you did? Oh, this is going to tie a lot of things together. You did what our teacher just taught us about. You did it. He goes, it goes faith first, then feelings.
Yes.
And you did that.
Yes.
Like you didn't feel like this was real. You didn't feel like your like family was going to be healed. You didn't feel like all of a sudden you're going to feel this Holy Spirit over you. But you just kept walking. And I think that's beautiful because a mustard seed doesn't have feelings. It just needs to be planted.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You're so right. Yes. That's like, yeah. And that's exactly, yeah, you're so right. That's exactly what I did. Yeah. There was like a good 1.5 years of me like not having any like feelings towards it. Like,
I want to unpack that.
yeah.
Because that right there, oh man, Belle, that right there that's the money of this conversation. There's so many women right now, so many men that is feeling that and might just put it down. You know what I mean? There was this image that I always think about when I was a kid. It was in the like 6th grade I watched it, but it stuck with me. It's this miner and he's mining and he gives up right when if he hit it one more time,
It was right there.
there was gold on that other hat. What are you going to say to that one person that's been calling out to God and feels like there's no answers and they're about to just put down their faith? What was this chapter like for you, and what made you continue to keep going?
Well, I saw the fruits in other people's lives, so I started to see factual proof that the ones who had a true relationship with God had more fruit and had a more beautiful life, if that makes sense. It didn't come down to materials. I'm talking about the relationship with their families, the way that they approached situations, the way that they dealt with things, right? So like seeing the fruits of their life. What are the fruit of the Spirit? Can you list them?
Yeah, it's like peace, it's love, it's kindness, it's meekness, it's gentleness, it's self-control, it's long-suffering, it's Cliff. You know what I mean? It's dealing with, you know what it is? Long story short, it's watching a man stand on water and being like, how is my man not drowning right now? He's just standing there with joy.
Yeah.
That is what we see when we look at the salt and light of the world.
Totally. Yeah. And so I think like throughout time, you know, like that seed for me was planted when I was 16. I met my best friend Michelle and she took me to youth group. And so I started to see his fruit, right? I started to see the fruit in her family, the relationship she had with her sister, with her parents, with her brother, that dynamic. I started to meet other people who had God in their lives, you, and right. And so then I started to see all these commonalities and I was like, well, all these people believe in God. So okay, and I considered myself, right, like since that time I went to youth group with Michelle, I considered myself Christian, but I didn't really have an active relationship with him or didn't know any deeper than that. And so to me, I was like, okay, so either people are lying about their feelings or there's something there, so I just got to keep going. And I had perseverance. I was like, okay, if I just keep going, if I just keep moving forward in the way that I feel like, you know, it would please God, right? Like how he wants me to act positive and keep whatever, right? I was like, he'll show me, like I'll finally understand, like it'll unlock for me, you know? So because I'm somebody who like needs to see proof, I think, so answering that question, right? Seeing factual things right in front of me come to fruition and come alive, and it could only be from him, right? I was like, that makes sense. And then if you're right there and you want to give up, just keep going, because maybe the thing that God is trying to reveal to you, he hasn't revealed to you yet. And that's what's blocking you from having a true relationship with him. And I saw that because when I started and I had a really tough year, and Ali said this to me when I was telling her about it, she's like, well, this sounds like Job. And I've met so many new Christians and they all go through kind of like what Job went through. They go through all these like obstacles and just these turbulences for this whole year right before they kind of like unlock the relationship with God. This is so common with so many people. It's crazy.
Do you know why?
Could it be that God is, I don't know if I want to say testing, but is wants to see if you'll have faith in him, if you'll follow him, if you'll continue to be led by him, even though things might go wrong. You're gonna like lean on him to help you out of situations so that you can learn your lessons. I think that throughout that year, I had these kind of like 3 specific, turbulences, which all had to do with my health. And
Oh man.
and through each situation, I learned something new that made me better and that made me stronger. And God says that you should rejoice. Now that I know this now, but God says you should rejoice when you are in turbulences, right? Because it's going to make you stronger and it's going to make you better. So with everything you go through, so you're going through a tough time right now and you want to give up and you're not, just keep going, because you're going to learn something and you're going to be better for it. So for some reason, I had this understanding, even before really truly knowing why, I had this understanding that if I go through this problem right now with faith and positivity and joy, this situation will become better quicker and I'll be better for it. And I just kept moving forward, and I faked it till I made it. You know what I mean? I faked my faith till I made it. Like, I was like, I don't believe it yet, but I'm just going to keep going.
Well, this is the true definition of a man after God's heart. Your eyes didn't see him. Your ears didn't hear him. Your brain couldn't fathom him. Your heart didn't want him. And then he drew you near, and it's all from like just wisdom. And I think why so many people, I want to use the word wrestle with God, is because I think of Jacob. I think we all have a cornerstone or a rock in our life, and God will continually let the foundation fall down. So it's not really he's putting us through a hard time or wrestling with us, but he's removing favor until we see where the favor comes from.
Right.
And then when we realize like, oh wait, I've been so focused on my work or my money or my dreams or my problems, I forgot to look first for the kingdom of God. And so if somebody doesn't have a relationship with God at all, unfortunately, I think the only time a man will call out to him unless he's truly on his knees. So it's either a man is willingly going to be on his knees or unfortunately be on his knees. And I think it's better for a man to be unfortunately on his knees rather than when the king comes back and then he's like, oh man, it's too late. Like I couldn't even fix it.
Yeah. And I think like it's the same thing like when they say like Rome wasn't built in a day. I think that imagine, oh no, even better, right? A relationship between a husband and wife. You don't just meet, get married, and you're the closest people to each other ever, right? You learn with each other. You go through trials and tribulations. We go through problems. You learn about how each other work and how can I better serve my partner, and you become stronger. And I think that why would it be any different when you are learning about God? You are learning to have a relationship with him. We are Jesus's bride, right? So we have so much to learn about him and how to better serve him and how to better understand him and how to utilize him in our lives.
What made you not bitter though? Like what made you go through all this and say, hey, I still want to chase you, instead of being like, well, this is your fault this is happening?
I don't know. I never had this mentality.
Do you think it's from your mom saying you're either a victim or a victor?
Probably. Because again, my mom had my mom's childhood. My mom's childhood is something else. My mom has been through so much. So much. So I think it's like you start to feel bad for yourself, but then you're like, she can do it. You know what I mean? Like, we can do it. Keep going. So just like having a strong a strong example, you know? And I don't know, I just knew there was something there. So I just had to keep going forward. And things, and at the end of the day, also too, it's like just things happen. Things happen, but you got to keep going. Like, and with health things, they didn't really like shake me too much because when I was a kid, I had, you know, I was really sick a lot too. So like I understood how to get through, you know, illnesses and health things. Do you know what I mean? And it was true. It was like with everything. So like it started with my back, right? Like I slipped my disc out and I had to have a catheter and remember for a week and everything.
Remember, what are you talking about? Freaking cried myself to sleep. Now like my heart goes out to any man or woman that has to watch their loved ones go through pain, man, and they can't do anything about it. It's like, I think that's a form of hell. I think that is the worst place a man or woman could be, is watching somebody they love just be in agonizing pain. And there's nothing you could do. And I pray that never happens to us and that God protects us. And I pray that whoever is dealing with it has so much love from God and God is with them. That is a tough, tough place to be.
It is.
I want to maneuver the conversation to something because, man, dude, again, this is one of the things where I talk about where I'm like, bro, like you blew me away on this. Like this was sick. And it was frightening for me, bro, because I was never a man who told you what to do. I was never a man that was like, hey, it's either this way or that way. But I was a man that was like, hey, these are like boundaries. Like if you want to go outside of them, that's fine. But I'm not the man for you. Like, and I had to do that because I feel like every man and woman should have that. Just so there's no surprises in the future. There's no arguments in the future. And I had a pretty strict viewpoint on how I would be comfortable with my wife as an entertainer. And I never, before to me, it was like, oh, it's just acting. It doesn't matter. Or it's just modeling. This is work. Like I was very like that. And when I got a really strong relationship with Christ, I was like, oh, bro, like, nah, I can't be kissing a girl on camera, bro. Like, I don't want my children watching that. I think it's okay. I don't, also, I'm not an idiot. I've been on set. I know how they behave on set. I know the underlinings of why these actors fall in love. I know what's going on. And in my heart, when God was teaching me about lust, it was basically like, yo, flee away from it. Don't put yourself in a position to play with a bomb or a fire. It doesn't make sense. Like completely separate yourself from that. So I knew in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm good. I'm off of this. Like I don't need to do this. But I am committed to a woman that is, I want to build this story up for you guys so you guys can understand this. Belle goes from France to Ohio to Canada. But through this travel, she's working on her craft. This is what's holding her steady. This is, unfortunately, her God. This is at this moment that's keeping her alive. Then she comes to California, gets introduced to God, really sits on it, doesn't really know what's it about. Then your career starts taking off. You go from like, oh, I'm auditioning to booking crazy shows, like back to back to back, and then get to a place where everybody works for, and this 1% of actresses get this, it's offers where directors, producers, writers are like, yo, love this girl. She's the next one up. Let's offer her this role. Let's offer her this role. I watched you literally look at your dreams. It's given to you. It's like it's not like, oh, you have to work for it. It's like, hey, do you want this? It's yours if you want it. Right when you find your love for Christ and you're looking and you're like, I don't know if I could take this job. Like, and I'll never forget, I'm not going to mention which offer it was, but I want to paint this picture because it's hilarious. This is a few years into us dating. Is it 2 years or like?
No more, like 4 years.
As a man thinking about getting married, like all this stuff, very scared, very, very scared.
Yeah.
And then God throws us both a curveball. They offer you a crazy job. And this character to me is like, like there's no way I'm watching my wife on set doing this. You know what I mean? Like also I'm not watching this on TV. There's no way. So in my mind, I already tell God, I go, no, she's not doing this. And I get into my macho, like, this ain't for us. But the Holy Spirit's like, do not tell her that. This is not your business. It has nothing to do with you. And I was like, but God, this is my woman. Like that's my rib. Like, you know what I mean? Like I gotta tell her. And it was the first time where God was like, I need you to zip it. I'm working on her. You let her do it. It was the first time in my life that I went to a bar and got drunk. I didn't know what to do. I felt so lost. They just offered her a job where overnight she'd be making more money than me, in a better position than me, have every opportunity that she could possibly get. Biggest directors and actors would be alongside her there. It's a thing where it's like at a snap of a finger, she's on the red carpet, everybody's knowing about her, and she's on magazines. And in my brain, I'm like, hey, yo, I go, I'm cooked. And this is what hurt me. If I was a woman and I worked my whole life for this, and this guy's providing for me, and then the guy would say something to me, in my mind, I go, how dare you? If you loved me, you would want this for me. So I'm caught in this catch-22 where I'm like, as a human, I understand this is good for her. I've seen her work for this. I can't be chauvinistic and tell her now she can't do it. But at the other hand, I know that this would destroy our relationship. And then if it didn't, it would eventually. Or it would set a bad example for younger women and our daughter if we had one. So my brain is, I'm just at the bar, dude, and I'm drinking. And I just look up to God and I'm like, God, like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. And me and you jump on the conversation, and I said, I just go, so how you feeling about the role? Like, blah, blah, blah. And you just go, I remember you just go, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I feel comfortable doing this. And when we got off the phone, I cried, bruh.
Yeah.
I cried because I was like, oh, like, she's finally, I'm not the only one that's looking at what righteous people should do.
Yeah.
Like, you were watching me kill my darlings, get rid of opportunity, like clean the house, like sacrifice. I could do that for me, but I can't tell you to do that.
Yeah.
And
which I appreciate,
I think that if I did that, I think
it would have
robbed you. And then I think that would have conflicted us.
Totally.
I think it would.
Absolutely.
I think this is the hardest thing. And I think a man has to know the boundaries of when to speak and when to listen. And the hardest part is when to be quiet and wait.
Totally.
That's the,
of course, not in your
I think a lot of relationship ruin because they don't trust their partner, or they don't trust that God's working in the situation.
Yeah.
And they're not the savior. They're just the sower.
Right.
So imagine 4 years of me planting seeds into you and watching tiny little fruit grow. Like, you're starting to understand God. And then the devil puts the contract that everybody's like waiting for your whole life. That to me was like, watching you go through that was wild, bro. Wild.
Yeah.
Could you unpack that feeling?
Yeah. I mean, obviously I can see the thing I love so much. But so before that opportunity came on the table, for months before, and I didn't tell George yet because I don't know how I felt about it yet. And I was like, once I say it out loud, then it's going to be real. And then he's going to be like, definitely go that. And what if I change my mind?
Yeah.
So for months, the Lord is just giving me such strong conviction of like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do on set? Are you going to do this? No. Are you going to do this? No. Well, what about even just the bare minimum, which is kissing? What are you going to do? Don't you want to marry this man eventually? Like, how could you go on set? And mind you, I've done work where, you have to kiss the other person on set. It doesn't feel like anything. You have cameras, whatever. It's acting, but you have to do it all day. Does it glorify God? Does it glorify my marriage? No, it doesn't. Do you think my husband would love being at home for hours while I'm absolutely not, right? Because then I start to think about like, oh, well, I don't want him doing that. So I was like, if I don't want him doing that, then like, how could I do that to him? So just for months, like God is putting this in my heart and I'm freaking out because I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm like, oh, my acting career is over. If I can't do that, right, then what am I going to do? So he's just really putting in my heart. And then he's also really putting in my heart that, well, now it's changed to, well, I also want to live my life in a way that makes God proud. So I don't want to just like get away with things. I want to actually live accordingly to how he wants me to live,
Yeah.
So it's just like screaming in my heart, and I sat on it for a long time. And then we had a brief conversation about it. Remember we were in Palm Springs in that hotel?
Oh yeah, I do.
But yeah, I was just like, and I was telling you, I was like, I don't know. I don't think I'm comfortable doing that anymore. But what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to do? So I don't know. And then when I got that opportunity, that was right around the time I'm still making that. In my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm obviously not gonna do any nudity. I'm obviously not gonna do like sex scenes, but like I'm gonna have to kiss. You know, I hadn't fully made that decision, but so I knew. But that contract required, it required some nudity, which I've never been okay with before. But this had a little bit in it, you know, in some like certain scenes. So I told my manager, I said, listen, just get me in the room. I had to go and do it in front of, you know, the directors, the producers, like it's all of Paramount. It's like all of the executives of Paramount and everybody, right? And in order to get there, you have to.
She's being super modest, by the way. The people that they've asked her to be in the room is between like her and 2 other women that are also huge actresses, and that these people oversee every big project on Paramount, CW, Netflix, like all of the biggest shows. Are the people that run it are sitting looking at her already in their mind saying, if we don't have her for this, we're gonna have her for all these other projects.
Thanks.
You were just you were there's no way you were gonna say it that way.
Well, you know, it was cool. It was one of my first like this job opportunity. They flew me out. It was such nice, like it was really cool. But so I told Andrew, I said, I'm not signing that contract, because if I sign the contract before I get there, then I'm agreeing to the terms. And I told him I don't agree to the terms, but just get me in the room so I could show them how good I am, and I'll talk to them. Yeah. It's like, I'll tell them, listen, these are the reasons why I don't need to do all these things, because I'm gonna make the character great. Like I had my like speech prepared if they wanted to go with me. So I was like, just find a way. And my manager found a way to like kind of, I don't know how, because you had to sign a contract to be in that room, and I didn't have to. So I didn't sign the contract. And I just wanted to be there, right? And I'm glad I did. I'm really glad I did. So I did, and all that stuff. And I made a really good rapport with these creators, the producers, and that casting director. I have a really good like rapport with this really great casting director now. And then I put it in God's hands, and I prayed a lot during that situation. I said, if it's for me, open the door. If it's not for me, remove it from my table, and I will be happy with whatever you choose to do. So I put it at God's feet. I said, you have to help me, please. Like if it's for me, you know? Yeah. And then I got the call. It was between me and one other person, and the other person ended up getting the role because she already worked with the creators on a different show. And so it worked out for them and whatnot. And so when I got the news, you know, I cried because I was like, oh man, I was so close. But I was also relieved that the decision was made for me. And I realized, like, because right in those months were like the pivotal months of me being like, oh, I can't do this. Oh, I can't be kissing on set. And then months went by, and it's like that decision for me just got more confirmed. And I was just like, thank you, Jesus, for not giving me that opportunity. I don't know what I would have done, right? So, yeah. And then I was like, all right, Lord, I trust you, and I want to please you. I want to do right by you. And he just gave me confidence. And I realized that, you know what, if Mel Gibson, if Neil McDowell can go on set and create amazing characters, be a part of amazing stories, and they don't have to kiss anybody because they stand on their values, then I think I can do it too. And so it's just still different for girls. And obviously, like most of the roles I go out for, I'm the rom-com girl or whatever. But I think that, you know, if that door is good for me, and if that's where the Lord wants me, then I can't wait to be in a position where I can tell beautiful stories that are either funny or that maybe that means something great, but I don't have to, you know, compromise that, and I don't have to compromise.
Okay, my last and final question.
Okay.
I don't know why I randomly just thought this, but I think this is a good question.
Okay.
If you could ask a girl, or like tell a girl, if she's asking you, hey, like, I found this man, he doesn't know Christ at all. Should she fall in love with a man that doesn't know Christ, or should she fall in love with a man that does know Christ? Because a lot of girls are like, oh, I want to build that faith with him, but I don't know. Like, think about it. Like, imagine the roles are reversed. Imagine it was, instead of me pouring into you, it would be you pouring into me. What's that dynamic like, and which one would you want your daughter to go after?
Woof. If it was my daughter,
Woof.
If it was my daughter, I'd want her to find a spiritually strong man, because I think that, you know, I think it's case by case. Obviously, I think there could be times when, you know, obviously, yeah, you meet a man and, you know, he doesn't have a relationship with God, and, you know, through your relationship together, through seeing, you know, your actions and maybe you pouring into him, he could find a relationship with the Lord, and that would be beautiful, right? But I think that optimally, like the optimal situation, if it was my daughter, I'd want her to find someone who was strong in their sense of self. You know what I mean? Because if you're strong in your relationship with God, then you're strong in the person that you are, then you have good confidence, and then you love yourself, therefore you can love my daughter properly. So that's what I would want for my daughter. And I also think that the dynamic between a man and woman can be very difficult when it's a woman telling a man how he should feel and what he should do. I think pride, might get in the way. Sometimes it's hard for a man's ears to be open to a woman telling him how his mindset should be.
I will admit, you've changed me in all ways, in shapes and forms, and never told me to change. It was your actions that made me change.
Yeah.
It was. I don't think I would have done well if you were like had your finger in my face telling me what to do.
Yeah, this is how you need to think. And obviously, there's very many loving ways to pour into somebody. Doesn't mean it has to be harsh. But I just think that, men and women are different, and they are emotionally different, and they deal with situations differently. And I think that that's a hard dynamic to like, I think it's very few, where the woman is taking charge and kind of like telling you how you should be leading your life.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how people are gonna feel about that, but
No, I get that, bro. Like, I wouldn't want my daughter even looking at a man that doesn't have a relationship with God.
right.
And it's because of this. Like, if he's gonna lead that house, if he's not leading you to God, he's leading you to hell.
Yes.
Regardless of how amazing the man is. Like, it might be now, but the absence of God is death.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would rather my daughter marry a man who's obsessed with Christ, that's poor, a peasant, a dirt poor man that's struggling to put a meal on her table, but like gives her the word of God every day, rather than well, hold on, time out. That's almost impossible, because the gospel says that a good man of God provides. So I want to take that back. It's impossible for that. A good man that is after God's heart will always provide, because God provides for him.
Yeah.
So I don't want anybody to hear that and think that's the case, because it's not the case. But what I'm trying to get at is, I'd rather a man go after nothing on earth and chase after God's heart, rather than a man who's counting paper and throwing money at his wife and like, hey, go shopping. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I feel like
1,000,000%.
if his job is his God, then eventually he's like, he's gonna fall off with you. I think the only reason I'm a better husband to you, or even something that makes you excited, is because of how much I fear God.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
I think that we would be in so much trouble. The amount of peace that I have comes from knowing that regardless of what happens here, you're going to have to answer to him.
Yeah, same.
So-
oh man, you know what this reminds me of? I remember we've had like plenty of hard conversations, and I actually do want to open up this one. A lot of men don't want to have hard conversations with their loved ones because it's like tough. But I remember saying this to you, and I remember being really confident when I said this to you, and it helped our relationship like crazy. You would want to please me in ways where I could see you as dysfunctional to your heart. Like, you overserved me to the point where you got exhausted. And I would always tell you like, hey dude, you got to tell me when I'm doing something wrong. You got to like voice it. You got to like, let me know your concerns. I can't read your mind. And also I appreciate that you're serving me, but you can't serve me to a point of exhaustion, because then you're going to hate me one day.
Totally.
And there was a fear of me leaving or walking away. And I said something to you. I said, hey, like when I met you, I realized God loves me so much, and it's a gift. And I told you, if I ever harm you, or if I ever walk away from you, know that your God will replace me with something way better than me.
Totally.
Like, he will be a better provider, a better lover, a better faith man. Like, don't treat me as if you're scared of losing me. Treat me like I'm a gift from God, and you cherish God, so you're going to take care of the gift, but you're not going to worship the gift. Because once
Yes.
you worship the gift, then realistically, I could have taken advantage of your love. I could have been like,
Totally.
get in the kitchen or do this or blah, blah, blah. But I'd rather you put a meal in front of me because you love me and you want to nurture me,
Yes.
rather than me being like, woman, what are you doing? Know your place. I think once we get into serving each other in a holy way, it could be really, really good.
Yeah.
And so I want to encourage anybody that if you're with somebody and you're like, oh man, it's not going to get better, then, or like, oh, like this is all I got, you're working from a very, very bad position. You should work knowing that you're honoring God, and that if your partner ever crosses a line or disrespects you or takes holiness from the table away, that you look to your God and say, hey, you fix this. Belle did that. Belle would be like, hey, like God, you need to talk to him. And he brought me to my knees to change me. So
Yep.
I think I think that's a very important thing that not that many people talk about because it's uncomfortable and it's weird to talk
Well,
about.
yeah. No, I'm so glad you brought that up. That was a pivotal thing that I remember you telling me. That was a pivotal thing that I would keep in my mind. Like, okay, well, yeah, he's right. Like if he treats me poorly or if I lose him, like, then good. Like, then God didn't want him in my life. Then I don't want that in my life. And so that was a really, I think that's something that not a lot of men would be comfortable in saying because they don't want for you to say like, it's so humble of you to be able to say like, hey, if I treat you poorly, like, don't be worried about losing me because God's going to give you something better, right? Like saying that there's something better than your own self.
It's honest.
Yes.
And
So
if you didn't know that truth, you would act a certain way.
yeah.
And so I'm watching somebody behave in a way that's not fully wise because you weren't fearing God, you were fearing me.
Yep.
And that relationship unbalances itself. And
Totally.
I think even a good man could take advantage of that. And to be honest, I call myself taking advantage of it.
Of course. And I think that goes back to the point that I was making earlier. We are wired differently, and women are made to take care and to serve and to love and to like a mother, like to nourish you, right?
Yeah.
And so women, when they fall in love, they look at their partner for everything, and like, how can I please you? How can I love you better? How can I, you know what I mean? Like, be just with you. That's how like women love. And so I think that is why like the dynamic is a lot better if, the man already has a relationship with God, because, women like to be like, oh, I'll fix him. I'll change him. I'll be the one to fix him, right? Like all girls think that way, but it's a very toxic.
I think that is true though. I think if you're matched up with the right woman,
yeah.
I think in any man or woman, when you bring somebody to the table when it comes to a relationship, it could only go two ways. It never just holds the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's either that person's an anchor and is completely bringing you down,
Mm-hmm.
or they're just a rocket ship and they're just sending you to the moon.
Totally.
And bro, you sent me to the moon, bro.
You sent me.
So like when I'm seeing you behave that way, the Holy Spirit's like, hey, you know why she's acting this way? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, are you gonna fix it? And I'm like, yeah, but like, life is kind of lit. She like really likes me. and then he would whisper in my heart, he goes, yeah, now you like it.
Yeah.
But in the future, it's gonna get really dysfunctional. And I was like, all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I don't know how people. It's hard. I don't know how it's hard to have a marriage or not have a relationship with God,
It's
because
impossible. It's impossible. I like, that's why when people are like, oh, there's so many divorces. I'm like, yeah, I guarantee you, every divorce that happened didn't have God at the center of the relationship. If the man truly feared God, he would be there for his wife. If the woman truly feared God, he would be there. Now, mind you, there is a lot of unfortunate hurdles that are, that are tougher, that God forbid if something happened to the kid, or like there's other things that I pray that we never have to deal with. I'm just talking about the basics.
Yes.
I'm talking about a man who worships his job and a woman who worships materialistic things. That eventually will divide the house and it will break.
Yeah.
But a couple that's like, hey, this house is great. Me and Belle are blessed. We have 2 homes. And I can't believe that I say that. We have 2 homes, but I would live in a box with you rather than have 3 homes. And I think that's a relationship that a man should chase. And in this generation, it's like we live so selfishly that a man would feel like, oh, as soon as I'm done providing, she'll go find somebody else. And a woman would be like, oh, as soon as I stop providing in the way that I provide, then he'll go find something else.
It's like, what can you do for me?
Rather than what I could do for you.
Exactly.
We're just a bunch of John F. Kennedys, bro. We're like, don't ask your wife what she could do for you, but what you could do for your wife. Does
he say
anybody
that?
get that reference?
Is that something he said?
One of his famous speeches was, don't ask your country what it could do for you, but what you could do for your country.
Yes. And that's good, man. That's so good. Like we are one, we are a team, we are a partnership. And when he falls, I'm there. When I fall, he's there. And we help each other up and through. And that's the beauty of like living life together, is that you have somebody to help you through any and all situations.
Yeah.
And you can't dip out as soon as your teammate needs a little help.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank God for God to be in our lives, because I have that security. I'm like, you do something wrong, go talk to our Father. And same with me,
Yeah, that's cool, man. It's safe.
Yeah,
It feels good.
it is.
I remember when we were getting married, I never thought about prenups. I never thought about any of this stuff. But my brain was automatically wired business all the time. So I had attorneys, I did all this stuff. So in my brain, I was like, I'm going to get a prenup. And so I go up to her and I said, hey, Bella, I just want to let you know, like, just from the jump, like, I'm getting a prenup. Like,
Yeah.
and she was like, yeah, absolutely. You know?
I figured because that's how the world works. So you're just like, okay.
And again, dude, this is such a humiliating aspect to be in. It wasn't my Christian friends that woke me up. It wasn't my family that were like, hey, dude. Honestly, I didn't really talk to my family about it, so that they're kind of like out of it. But like, it wasn't like mentors. It wasn't any of those people that were like, hey, what are we doing here? It was a freaking dude that doesn't even believe in God. And he just goes, what? And I go, yeah. And he's a millionaire. So I thought he was going to be on my side of things. He's like, wait, what? He goes, oh, I could never, and this is what got me. He goes, I could never ask her to do that. It would feel so unsafe for her. And as soon as he said the word unsafe, in my brain, I said, wait a second. She spends her life with me. She makes me a meal. She sacrifices everything. She puts this is a roof, but she makes it a home. My kids are gonna depend on her. Everything that I do is for her. And then right before I make a promise to God, her father, and her, I say, hey, could you sign this piece of paper? Because all of that pile of dirt over there that I would set on fire for you, I want to make sure that if you piss me off, that I could walk away and grab all of that. And in my brain, I go, oh, I just literally told God that all this materialistic things is worth more than his daughter.
Right.
And so I said, my dog, you could, I'm sorry, I'll cut that out. No, about that. Well, that was, you just beep it, but that's how I really felt. I meant to say, forget all that BS. And I went up to her and I said, hey, by the way, we're not doing that prenup thing. And bro, she cried. That broke me, dude, because then I realized that, like, dude, a girl's not going to be like, yeah, no, I totally feel unsafe and I'll definitely sign it. Thanks so much for that. Like, it is such a shitty thing that, like, us guys, we, like, sidestep. I don't know. I'm just talking out loud now.
No, listen, I was touched, and, you know, it was never an issue for me because same thing. It's like, that's what the world tells you. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So, like, it was like, oh, well, it makes sense, you know? But when you said, like, when you just never brought it back up, like it just never happened. You never did it.
Oh yeah, that's how I did it. Yeah, I just never told. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, hey, what happened? I think you know, and you're like, and then you told me, and I cried. That touched me so much because that means that I don't know, I just felt, because I guess in my heart, this is the reality I know. I go, well, regardless of anything, if something ever happens to us, I'm going to be for me personally, I'm going to be way too heartbroken to even think about the materialistic things. I don't care about the materialistic things. If we don't end up working out, oh my gosh, like that's the hurt for me. Like, we're over. Like, I can't think of anything past that. You know what I mean? I don't want your stuff. Like, keep it. If we're over, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the worst case possible scenario. So I know my heart in that situation. And I also know that I wouldn't want anything from you. You know what I mean? If something. So,
You know, it's so funny, dude. Like,
so when you,
as soon as I thought of that idea in my brain, and I hope somebody who's like thinking about doing it, maybe he's like a hustler and he does stocks or does trading. I don't know what he does, but he maybe he got hurt in the past or whatever. Like, go into it making an oath and a promise with God, and just again know that, like, if she damages you and takes half of it, in fact, let her take it all. Because if you're a good man that stands righteous in front of God, God will multiply you, bro. He's not going to let you just sit there and be defeated.
yeah, he'll take care of you. And you know what? Thank you. That was the biggest part of why I didn't care when you first brought it up, the parent or whatever. Because I know your heart. So I knew you would never leave me on the street.
I would have.
I know you would have always.
I'd have been like, you let them talk about me in the comments like that.
That's it.
I get both these homes. You get none.
No, I knew you'd always, regardless of what happened, I know you'd always make sure I was okay and I was safe and I was good and I was taken care of. So I was like, I don't care whether it's there or not. I know you're never gonna kick me to the curb and be like, figure it out. So I was okay. So then when you announced that, I was just like, wow. I was like, you see, it felt like, okay, like he knows my heart. Or you just have enough faith in God that things will work out. But, you know, so it was such a declaration, I think, of your love, your trust in me, maybe, or something.
So funny.
Yeah.
I feel like we had a great episode.
Yeah, I think it was good.
Yeah.
You liked
What about you? You liked it? That's fun. Yeah. All right. Well,
Okay.
I got nothing else.
Thanks for chit-chatting.
Well, guys, I appreciate you guys coming back. I hope this time I knocked it out of the park. I will be deleting comments that say otherwise.
Stop.
I never delete comments, but there's some that if they leave like a crazy paragraph and I know they put a lot of time and effort into it and they're really bashing me, I kind of get a little excited deleting it because I'm like, I have like so much power over it. But then I feel bad and I'm like, I don't do that. And then all of a sudden they'll be like, hey, stop deleting comments. Let's go. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I love you guys. I'll see you guys next week. We have Gary Brecker coming on. Woo! We have GP coming on. We have 3 other guests lined up. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but they're outstanding, and you guys are going to be excited about it. This year's coming in hot. I can't believe we're already booked up until April.
Right.
And we got some stand-up stuff coming out. We got a lot of other things going. Very excited about it. I love you guys. Do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Like this video. Give it a comment. A nice one. And that'll help the video get pushed. And then people can get to know my beautiful wife, Shawna Lee Janko, a.k.a. Little Bell.